It is my great pleasure to introduce Jesse Galef, who, along with myself and Liz Liddell, is a full-time staff member at the Secular Student Alliance at our headquarters in Upper Arlington, Ohio. Jesse has been our communications director since February of this year. And while he's an excellent communications director and has gotten us on the Young Turks and into various newspapers and all sorts of awesome things like that, and has gotten our groups, more important to me, into lots of media, he also, not revealed by his title, is fantastic at helping with administrative work and is constantly telling me things like, August, why did we use 4 different ways to describe in the member database people that have bad addresses? So he's a man of many talents, a Renaissance man. I cannot speak to his credentials as a pirate. You'll have to judge that for yourself. But please join me in welcoming Jesse Galef.
Go with this. All right, so August just explained how to be a fundraising ninja, but we all know that pirates are cooler, especially with the Pastafarians here. So,
I'm in enemy territory.
Ninja pirate.
No, there's no such thing as a ninja pirate.
There will be.
You all are going to become ninja pirates by being fundraisers and using the media well. So, how many of you keep your group secret? All right. So you guys meet in a dark room in a basement. You don't tell anybody about what you're doing. No, of course not. You try to get the message out. You try to tell people what you're doing, who you are, and why you're doing it. Now, that takes some time. Wouldn't it be great to go around and leave flyers on everybody's doorstep and have somebody else pay for it? In fact, I mean, nobody's really going to listen to you quite as much as they would listen to a trusted friend or somebody with a little more national credibility. There's actually a way to do this, and it's called the media. So I think in the handout I said how to commandeer the media to spread your message, because that really is what you're doing here. You are helping them spread your message because they want to do it. So the Media Pirates Code, which is more like a guideline, of course. There's no hard and fast rules, but let's walk through it. Be newsworthy. If you want to get in the news, do something they want to cover. If you are sitting in your basement silently, they're probably not going to cover that, maybe for the novelty of somebody who doesn't want their message spread. But you want to have a hook to get them interested and get them covering your events. Target the right outlets, so you don't want to go to the wrong people and start telling them all about your group when they just don't care. Have a compelling message. Know what it is you want spread. It doesn't do you much good if you get the media attention and they're telling people how terrible your group is and why nobody should pay attention. And then deliver it properly because you want your message listened to. So, be newsworthy. There are a lot of ways to do that, and we're going to look at some examples of successes. This one is one of ours. We went to the Creation Museum for our annual conference in 2009. We took 300 atheists to the Creation Museum, led by P.Z. Myers. It got some attention. This is ABC News covering our event, but it doesn't have to be the nationals. It can be just some really interesting, creative idea. This is an event that's been really successful at Purdue, the Send an Atheist to Church fundraiser. So think about how novel that is, an atheist volunteering to go to church, selling the right to go to this church, and Purdue actually got some good money to do this. This is a little local, being newsworthy, the Stone and Atheist event for the UG atheists. Saying, hey guys, we're atheists in the Bible. It says, we should be stoned. Have a water balloon. Hit us. This is creative. This is fun. This is the kind of thing the media likes to talk about. And they got in the Red and Black, their school paper, which students read. They got a video about it on the news site for the web for their school. This one is the Metro State Atheists. They had a Food for Free Thought fundraiser for a food drive. So they agreed that anybody who brought in a donation of food would receive a free thought or banned book. So Mark Twain, The God Delusion, things like that, for every donation of food that came in. It's kind of a neat idea. And when prominent atheists heard about that, Richard Dawkins, Michael Shermer, James Randi sent in signed copies of their book to be given away for the food drive. They ended up raising over 1,000 pounds of food for the local food drive and got covered in the Denver Post, which is the paper in the area. Huge readership, and all these people hearing about what a great job these atheists are doing feeding the homeless. I help them with that, and I would love to help you guys get media attention around other great events you're doing. Partnering with a strange bedfellow. This is something that the media love to talk about. When you cooperate with somebody else who they're not expecting, they love talking about it. So this is Purdue Calumet partnered with the Echo Purdue Calumet. It's a Christian group, and had an ongoing relationship with them, and repeatedly got coverage in the school newspaper purely for that reason, that atheists working with religious people, that's absurd, and got in the news. More recent event, the Illini SSA at UIUC actually partnered with the Catholics to protest a professor getting banned for some controversial views. But Fox News wanted to talk about it, the fact that atheists were defending a professor with Catholics, that this is something we agreed on. And have a counterintuitive point of view is something that the media likes to talk about. Our entire message is counterintuitive to most of the country. So purely, we don't believe in God, we don't think he exists, we think that atheists can be good people. That's strange to them, and they want to help us spread that. So this is a Boise State event. They had a big flyer, big banner, outgrown your imaginary friend, and there was some controversy over it, and they got great front page attention. I mean, that was the front page of their school paper was talking about the group and why they felt they had to exist, why they didn't believe in God, and why it shouldn't be so controversial to have a banner like that. It's great attention. Be first. Be the first in your area to do something and tell that to the media, and they will like to cover it. So your mere existence might be a first in your area. KIAT 8 in, I think, Arkansas, started a group and got attention. There was actually a news segment on it in their local television about an atheist club starting. So you might think it's kind of commonplace. You know, we've got 230 groups now, but in a particular area, it can be surprising to the media. So you've got this great hook, you've got an idea, but you don't go tell the sports writer in Dallas about your group up in the Northeast. So you need to tell the right people and figure out how to get it to them, and we can help with that. We have access to a huge database of journalists, and I am there in the office eager to get your calls and help you target these people. We can come up with a list of 30, 50, depending on where you are, 100 journalists who are the right people on the right beat, in the right area, writing for the right outlets. I'm there to give you this information. Using your relationships, just like fundraising is about relationships, a lot of life is about relationships. And with the media, if you know somebody either in your school paper, that can help a lot. This is, again, the USC Pastafarians here have been covered by WIS 10, and they knew where to go. They went back and said, hey, we have another story for you. That's a great pitch. We have another story for you implies we're worth covering because you've done it before, and we have something new for you. I'm actually going to get back to this coverage a little bit later in the presentation, but this was about the Chalking Muhammad controversy. Have a compelling message. So what are you actually trying to have the media do? You want them to spread a particular message that you want people hearing. So sometimes it's about your group starting so that more people will come. Sometimes it's about morality, about your existence. So with the Stone a Heathen Day, Randall had a great quote just saying, and the media covered it in a nutshell. Morgan said one reason his group organized Stone a Heathen Day is because it's not easy to be an atheist in a community such as the one at the university. That's something you want people reading about, to know that we're here and it's not always easy for us. People don't know that. They don't think about what it's like to be a minority on campus, particularly one that you can't necessarily spot just by looking. We don't wear particular garb unless you've got the Scarlet A, I guess. We don't talk any differently. We don't have any particular characteristics except not going to church. And so it can be alienating. And to have the UG Atheists spread that message through the paper helps a lot. And with the food for free thought, I'd rather try to change our image by giving food to homeless. Nutshell, right there. Quick statement, and that's what we're trying to spread out. Don't wander off. Try to think about ahead of time what it is you want to spread in a nutshell. Talking points, they're called. So come up with a few of them ahead of time. The best way to defeat misinformation is with education. I liked that one. This is from the UIUC group again. They were protesting the Catholics' stance on HIV/AIDS on Good Friday by doing an event, Have a Good Friday Night, and handed out condoms on the quad. Sent a press release with this, why are they doing it? Yeah, the hook is that they're giving out condoms and they've got the slogan, have a good Friday night, but why are they doing it? Because the misinformation does real harm. And the way to prevent that is with education. The middle one is from our press release when we got on with the Young Turks about going to the White House for a policy briefing. Ending discrimination and protecting children from abuse shouldn't be controversial. That's what we were trying to lobby for when we went to the White House. Preventing religiously based medical neglect of children, ending discrimination in the military, and in hiring through the Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships. So we went on to the White House to lobby for these things and met with some Obama staffers. And the religious right came after us for it. And what better way to turn that around than say, this shouldn't be controversial. We are trying to protect children and end discrimination. That is the soundbite we want people thinking about, that the atheists are doing something that they agree with. And the last one is from the UICC group again. Deliver it properly. So you might have the right idea, might know what you want to say, who to say it to, but if you don't convey it right, it's not going to be picked up. So follow the guidelines. I mean, if they're expecting an email in a particular way and they get it the wrong way, it's probably going in the trash. Be timely, be polite, and follow up. So, I guess I can expand on this a little more. Timely, you want to cover things when they're news. You don't want to say, hey, a month ago we did something. You don't want to say it too early either. You don't want to say, in a month, we'll be having a local meeting. Come check it out. They'll have forgotten. Letters to the editor. So there are two particular ways that I'm going to cover. There are, of course, more ways to reach out to the media, but the two standard ways are letters to the editor. So you write into the paper, usually school paper, local paper. It's good for having a contrary view heard, for responding to a biased public statement. This is one of the most common. Something that you particularly thought, how could they possibly believe this? We need to push back. Because I think we've all seen in the media things that just are so slanderous almost that we feel the need to push back. Honoring an anniversary, they like to print those actually. Just saying, hey, it's Darwin Day, we'd like to celebrate. Here's some things that Darwin did. That's actually something that gets into the letters to the editor page, surprisingly common. And it's useful for getting your group in searches. If somebody, even local politicians, want to know about your group, and they search for you and find that you've been published in the paper, that makes you seem influential, and they're more likely to listen to you, more likely to give you credibility. You are more likely to get in if you are responding to a recent controversy, particularly if you have local angle or statistics, and speak from a position of authority. So if you are a group leader and you are writing on behalf of your group, say so. Say that you are writing on behalf of your group at a particular campus, the biggest campus in this particular area. Make it seem as though there's a reason for them to listen to you because you know what you're talking about and you have facts to back it up. One example is in the Daily Emerald at Oregon. They printed this anti-atheist screed, which referred to us as idiots and dipshits. And somehow this was after the editing process. This got printed about us. So rather than shrug it off, accept it, Lucy Gubbins, the group leader at Oregon, wrote in with a reprinting anti-atheism commentary offensive, lacking balance, pretty much calling out the paper saying, how could you possibly print this? This is poorly written and has no basis in fact. And at the very end suggested that the original author come to her group to find out what atheists are really like. And even though the Daily Emerald printed it, they also printed Lucy's letter to show that they did have balance. They wanted to correct their mistake. And papers are often willing to do that. If they are convinced that they've made a mistake, they will print a correction or a letter to the editor showing the other side. And press releases are the bread and butter of media. They are the way that the news is used to getting tips, and it's one of the things that I can help you with the most. This is what I want all of our groups doing, and the groups around here are doing a particularly good job. The Pastafarians have gotten in the New York Times, the local media, and they've even gotten coverage for this event in SouthCarolinaNow.com, printed a little bit about this. So you write it like a news article. It's not using first person, it's all objective, and any quotes can contain the opinion. So if you want to say, this is the best group ever, somebody else needs to be saying that, because they would never put that in a paper. It's just, this is the best group ever. No. Usually from your group leaders or from other people that you get prior approval for using these quotes. You send it earlier in the week, find out different reporters have different deadlines. I can help you find that out. Or, of course, you can ask them, hey, when would be a good time to send you a press release about something coming up soon? They want to get this information. It's a partnership. They want news. You have news. Hey, synergy. Wonderful. Particularly with press releases, they're used to getting it in plain text. You want to make sure that your information gets through. Graphics, links, probably not things to put in. Hyperlinks that aren't explicitly written out might not get through, and you want to make sure everything you have is going to be read. So, I said I would get back to this. This is the WI's 10 coverage of the Jalal Muhammad Day controversy that the Pastafarians got. So in it, they had a great quote. Our participation in this event is not to promote blasphemy or religious hatred, said Pastafarians President Axel Kram. It is to be able to act on the freedoms guaranteed us by the Constitution without fear for our safety afterwards. Great quote, sums up why you're doing it. That's the message you want to get out. Did you have to think of it on the spot? No, it's from their press release, direct. They had time to think about it. They sent it out in this press release, which I found on their website with the infrastructure that's necessary, as Liz was talking about. So they sent a press release to the news, and the news often just takes it and runs with it. They don't always call you back and to get more information. They just say, hey, this sounds good, and they print up an article about it. So use it. This is a great way to get particular opinions, particular facts out in the public. They have a particular format that is not purely writing an article. You have a headline, date and location. You write for immediate release. The other option is to embargo it if you're giving them a tip about something that's going to happen that's not public yet. They tend to like that. It's kind of a tease, but it's rare that you have a real instance to use an embargoed press release. You list contact information, because sometimes they don't contact you, but sometimes they do want to find out more. Sometimes they want to write a feature article about you guys and need to know more. So give them contact information. And then all of the content. This is what you would write if you were writing the article yourself. Name, you have quotes. The first paragraph tends to be who, what, where, with some basic facts. Second paragraph, third paragraph, you give a great quote as a sound bite. Try to hook them in early with your punchy quotes, your punchy ideas for why they should cover it. Because if they don't get past the headline, they don't get past the first paragraph and stop reading, it doesn't matter what's at the end. And that's depressingly common for them to just read the headline. That can be one of the most important parts, crafting a headline to sound controversial, have a hook, but be honest. At the end, 3 pound signs, and then more information about your group. This is just convention. If you send it like this, they're going to think you're really professional. This is something they're used to getting from major media outlets. And if you do it like this, you're signifying you're one of them. You understand how it works, and you have some credibility in their eyes. Follow-up calls. After you send it, those personal connections can make a real difference. So you call them, not to say, did you get it? That's considered rude. But to say, I wanted to follow up, see if you had any questions, if there was any other information we could get you. A lot of the time, they haven't read it, and they will say, no, what press release was it? And you can pitch it to them on the phone. Person to person, in their ear, this is a great opportunity. It's probably one of the more important parts of getting coverage, because you really can, the personal connection makes a bigger difference than you would think. And learn from them. I mean, if they tell you, you know what, I only cover stories with a particular angle. With local students, I only cover it if it has an angle on the education system. Learn from that. And later you can say, hey, later you said you only cover things from an education angle. I have the story for you now. And they'll know that you learned, that you had previous conversations with them. It can help a lot. More resources. I'm here to help. This is my job. I want to get you coverage, like the Denver Post. I want to help you get in the media, because I want your message spread. You want your message spread, and the media wants your message spread. So contact me if you have any ideas for what to try to plan a strategy. If you aren't quite sure how to do it, it can be complicated. There's a much more detailed stuff in the handout about press releases tips. But like Liz, I'm on the computer, near my phone, a depressing amount of the time. Give me a call. Send me an email. I'm also on Facebook. I'm the one behind the Twitter accounts and the Facebook pages for the most part. So that's a good way to get in touch with me. I'm here to give you more information. And we have www.secularstudents.org/media relations. there's a wealth of information there. Sample press releases so you have an idea of how to do it, tips for how to think about it, who to reach out for. It's there to help you. That's what we're here for. So go do it. It's been done by people in this room, and there's no reason to stop. Thank you. Ooh, 1 minute left. Ooh.